All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about that feeling. You know the one. It's when your brain just goes into complete overdrive, demanding answers, needing to know the end of the story. We're going to dig into why that feeling, well, it might not be anxiety at all. It might actually be something else entirely, a really powerful need for closure.
I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's that mental itch you just have to scratch. A story's left incomplete. A question is just hanging in the air. And some part of your brain just refuses, absolutely refuses, to let it go. It's almost a physical need for things to be resolved.
Okay, picture this. A text message pops up on your phone. All it says is, "We need to talk." For a lot of us, those are maybe the four most terrifying words you can read. Why? Because it's an incomplete data set. And your mind immediately starts racing, just trying to fill in all the blanks. What's this about? What did I do wrong? And boom, you're in an instant spiral of uncertainty.
And that spiraling feeling, it's especially intense for a certain type of person. And hey, maybe that's you, maybe it's someone you know. They're the one who can't just let an ambiguous text sit there. Nope. They need the full backstory. They need all the context. They need the director's cut of basically every situation. This is what we're going to call the unfinished story feeling.
So, what do we usually call this intense drive for answers? Often we jump to conclusions and we slap a pretty negative label on it. Is it anxiety? Or are they just being nosy? Let's take a look at some of the common misconceptions here.
Yep, here are the usual suspects. This kind of behavior gets chalked up to anxiety or nosiness or just plain old overthinking. Or maybe you've been told you're just being too much. But what if? What if these labels are missing the real story completely? Because when we actually look past those surface-level labels, we find something deeper, something way more fundamental going on in the brain. This isn't some personality flaw. It's a feature of how some brains are wired. It's really a quest for something called cognitive closure. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because it reframes everything. What looks and feels like anxiety from the outside, it's actually a deep drive for clarity. What seems like nosiness, that's really just a high need for closure. And what we call overthinking, well, that's a powerful pattern recognition engine working overtime. And that brings us to the core idea here, cognitive closure. So what is it? Simply put, it's the mind's basic desire to get a firm, solid, concrete answer to a fuzzy situation. It's the mission to get rid of that uncomfortable feeling of not knowing.
And this just nails the feeling, doesn't it? Think of your mind like a map. An unknown piece of information isn't just a small detail. It's a giant, gaping, blank space on that map, and your brain's #1 mission is to explore it, define it, and fill it in until that map is complete. It just can't stand the void.
So what if we started to reframe this? What if it's not a weakness, but a kind of cognitive superpower? Now, it can be totally exhausting, for sure, but this intense need for closure is actually driven by a highly active pattern recognition system. Let's break down how it actually works. It all kicks off right here, with rumination. This is the mental noise, the same questions just looping over and over and over again. Why did they say that? What did that look on their face mean? Your brain is basically flagging an unresolved problem and refusing to put it down.
Okay, next, the brain actively starts pushing back against the ambiguity. This can feel like the frantic part of the process. It's like being locked outside of a box that's labeled clarity. You know the answer is in there, and you will do pretty much anything to break through those walls of uncertainty to get it.
And this is where the superpower really kicks in. Your brain becomes a detective. It pulls out a metaphorical magnifying glass and starts hunting for clues. It connects these tiny little data points that other people might completely miss, just searching and searching for a coherent pattern in all the chaos. And then, finally, you get it. Resolution. Once that last dot is connected and the pattern is complete, there's this powerful sense of relief. The mental noise just stops. The itch is scratched. That blank space on the map is filled in, and your brain can finally archive the whole issue and move on. So what's the payoff for all of this totally exhausting mental work? Well, this cognitive style actually develops a really powerful and strategic way of thinking. It comes with some serious hidden strengths. I mean, think about it. This constant search for information makes you an excellent data collector. It also trains your brain for some seriously advanced problem solving, because you see connections that others just don't. This creates real strategic depth in your thinking. Over time, you might even become what's called a silent observer.
That's someone who can walk into a room and just instantly understand the subtext and all the dynamics without anyone saying a single word.
So the crucial point to take away is this. The next time you feel that intense, nagging need for an answer, remember this quote. The feeling might not be anxiety about the situation itself. It's the discomfort of the mental process, the rumination, that's demanding closure. It's the process, not the problem.
And that leaves us with one final thought to take with you. Now that you can recognize this pattern-seeking engine in your own mind, what unfinished story is it working on? What dots is your brain trying to connect right now?